South Mill Champs in Pennsylvania produces nearly 75 million pounds of mushrooms a year. For decades, the factory mostly sold the produce directly to businesses at restaurant chains and grocery stores. But in February, the company introduced their own line of mushroom snacks and began selling directly to customers. And they aren't alone. As the produce becomes more popular across the country, companies are finding ways to capitalize off mushrooms and sell it in new shapes and forms, from jerky to coffee. In this episode, we take a look at how the industry is changing and why the fungus is moving from the tops of your pizza to your coffee cups. Mushrooms haven't always been popular in America. Their distinctive taste, look, and smell have at times given the produce a bad rep.
You either love them or you don't.
But that's changing. Mushroom sales have increased every year for the past 5 years, and the global market is expected to exceed $50 billion by 2020. This popularity is largely because consumers are becoming more health conscious. The fungus also happens to possess several health benefits beyond nutrition.
The American population is just now understanding the full value of the mushrooms, the full health benefits, the cooking flexibility, and it's fitting very well into today's trends, especially the younger trends of healthy, natural, plant-based eating.
Most mushrooms have anti-stress properties, contain high levels of fiber and protein, and have antioxidants that help boost the immune system. Mushrooms are also extremely versatile and are often used as a meat substitute, especially now with the rise of plant-based protein lifestyles. In the last year alone, dozens of companies have come out with their own line of mushroom products. South Mill Champs is jumping in on the bandwagon by introducing snacks, all made with mushrooms from their main facility. Under the Shroom label, they're now making mushroom bars, jerky, and even chips. The company also creates mushroom coffees and teas. All of their snack products are sold online on sites like Amazon.
The snack is so unusual that people don't really understand what's a crispy mushroom, but then to use some familiar flavors like jalapeno or pizza or barbecue made a lot of sense to us. And consumers have responded to that.
In 2018, the company brought in nearly $200 million in revenue. Their main facility is at 100% capacity, producing just over 2 million pounds of mushrooms a week, from portobello to shiitake, cremini to oyster. It begins with the compost, a potent mixture of hay, straw, chicken manure, corn cobs, cocoa bean shells, and other ingredients. It goes through an intensive pasteurization process and heated at 180 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's hot to the touch. They're thermophilic bacteria, so they love the heat. They're activated by the heat.
So it's good.
And that's what's breaking it down.
The grow houses are where the fungal magic happens.
So it's a standard Pennsylvania-style mushroom house. Everything's built more or less on the same footprint. The substrate's put into beds, and then we put a thin layer of this peat moss on top of the beds. And a couple days later, you start to see the small mushroom pins begin popping up above the surface. Mushrooms are going to double in size every 24 hours from the time that they're a pin until the time that they're actually fully grown out into a mature mushroom like what you see here.
One mushroom picker can harvest up to 800 pounds of mushrooms a day. Then they're moved to the slicing and freezing facilities where they're packed and shipped out. More than 110 million pounds of the fungus are shipped out every year. And Pia believes this is just the beginning.
I think that the mushroom has a lot of room to run. It has the ability to become much more accepted. It's still a very small segment of the overall produce category that, by definition, gives room for the mushroom to grow in popularity.
There are more than 2,000 species of mushrooms, but only 25 are widely accepted as food, and just a few are commercially cultivated. I'm here with Tony Shields, the co-founder of Fresh Cap Mushrooms, to find out how he turned his favorite fungus into a business. So tell me about Fresh Cap Mushrooms. What do you guys do?
So Fresh Cap Mushrooms is a company that harnesses the power of mushrooms to improve people's lives. And we do that through a number of products. We have extracted mushroom extract powders. We have that same powder in a capsule form, and we're also developing new value-added products to make it easy for people to get mushrooms in their life.
What's the demand for it?
So the demand is way greater than we ever anticipated. I mean, I originally started this as a side hustle, but it's become something much, much more. Each mushroom has its own kind of superpower, and these are the beneficial compounds inside of the mushrooms that people are using for all sorts of reasons, mainly immune health, which is kind of the characteristic that encompasses all mushrooms, but people are also using these mushrooms for brain health, for energy, and for sleep regulation, all sorts of amazing things.
And what sort of studies back up the health benefits of mushrooms?
Right. I mean, the concept of using mushrooms as medicine or functional mushrooms is nothing new. People have been using these for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and it's really stood the test of time. But more and more research is being done all the time that's validating a lot of these anecdotal experiences that people are having with mushrooms.
Is there any apprehension from consumers to put mushroom powder in their coffee?
Well, I'm going to give you some insider information, and this is probably the biggest secret in the mushroom industry right now, and it's not all mushroom supplements are actually made from mushrooms. Some are made from mycelium on grain, which is a product that is mostly rice or oats or some other type of cereal grain. So if you're going to get a mushroom supplement, make sure that, first of all, you get it from a brand that you trust and a brand that actually knows what it is that they're selling. But second of all, just read the back of the label and make sure it just says mushrooms and there's nothing else in there that you wouldn't expect.
And what's the next step in the trend of mushrooms?
I think you're going to start to see mushrooms in a lot of sports nutrition products, as mushrooms are one of the fastest ingredients in all of supplements right now. But you're also going to start to see functional mushrooms in everyday products like granola bars, oatmeal, even ready-to-drink beverages.
We'll see you next time for another episode of Business Insider Today.